Alright, so I wanted to tell the story about how I actually ever got started in Scientology, because some people might be curious. But I was pretty young. I was about maybe 13, 14, and I was super shy. And my brother and my parents decided that I should try doing a course in Scientology, and I wasn't really that interested. And but I did it anyways. It was over the summer. I think it was summer vacation. And I started, and I went to the organization. I didn't really want to be there when I was there, and I figured that I might learn some things as far as like how to study better, and then I could go home and that would be it. And I didn't want to be out among people. So I started, and I met the course supervisor, and he gave me this book to read in my own time, which wasn't even part of the course. And that book was this one right here. It's called Science of Survival. So I just read this book, and I got through the beginning part, and it basically explains how in existence you have the physical universe and you have the spiritual universe. And he laid it down very, very scientifically. And you can read it too, by the way. It's kind of like in the introduction, and the goal of Dianetics. And I realized that what I'm reading applies to everything. It applies to not just my life or other people's lives. It just, what we're talking about is greater or bigger than just what I'm reading. And then I looked around, and I was like, oh my god, what am I reading? This is unbelievable. Like, I always thought I was a body. I always thought I was a brain and flesh and blood, and that I would die one day and then that would be it forever. But I realized reading this book that there is more to life. There's more to just me and who I am and other people. There's a spirituality to existence. It's not just the physical universe. There's another whole dimension of life. And in the book, it's called Theta. It's just a Greek letter for thought. And he describes it incredibly well, that there is something almost outside the universe looking in. And I thought, the staff here, they must know this. I was kind of shocked. Like, why didn't they tell me that there's this incredible sea of data? And from that point on, I wanted to read more. I finished this book. And about 12 or 13 other books, and then I reread them like something like 7 times, 8 times. And I read the Dianetics book, I think, like 9 times. And every time I read it, I got something more out of it. It just kind of aligned what is the game of life all about. It just laid it all out. It made it simple. I could understand it for the first time. It was absolutely incredible. And it made life more confrontable and understandable. And so I did more and more courses in Scientology. I developed the ability to communicate with others more and more, and made a lot of great friends. The people in Scientology are just great people in general when you meet them. A lot of them are successful, and they're super ethical, and they're people that you want as your friends. And just my life continued to expand from there. And that's how I got started. I also read another second book, which is going to be another video, but it was like a book that I shouldn't have read, but I did read, about the history of spirituality, which was kind of like skipping ahead kind of thing, call it. But anyways, it was an adventure from there on. And then I realized, like, what am I actually studying? I thought I was just learning how to study better. And then I finished the course I was on, and I did learn to study better, and I started to do better in school. I started to get along with people better, and it's been adventure ever since. So, and that's how I got started. So I figured I'd just make a video about that, because people might be curious. Alright, thanks for watching. Leave a share and subscribe. and ask me any questions that you want. I'd be happy to answer. Thanks.